Hey there, it's Maldonado. I am here with Hit Kit Club today using the October main kit, and I also squeezed in a card with the color kit. Today we're going to make 3 cards, so this video is a little bit longer than normal, and my dogs are bored in the background, so again, you will hear them snoring. One lays right behind me in the chair that I'm sitting in, so beware. It's not me, I swear, it's my dogs. So let's get started on the first card. I just cut a couple of layers of different pattern papers because the papers are gorgeous. You cannot help but use them. So I focused on that in the background, a couple of layers of that. And then I cut out with the cardstock from the kit, the the orange pumpkin, but I wanted to have a little bit of texture. So I did bring in my oxides. Those are not included in the kit. Neither is this brown ink. I felt like a black ink that I always use might have been a little too harsh on the fall colored card that this one is. So I did use brown. But I'm focusing on the die cuts and the stamps. Take a look at how beautiful this is once it's stamped. But what you see me doing here is I'm just, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm cleaning my stamp to make it imprint better or print better. I learned that from watching other people. Does it help? I'm not sure because I haven't tried it, or 2 different ways, but they do it, so I do it. A lot of things I do because I see other people doing it. So, but I won't jump off a bridge, I swear. My mother would ask me if I would do that. That's no joke. Anyway, so then I go through the pieces. I'm not sure what I'm going to use, so I got a little closer for you, and then I realized maybe I'm a little too close. Sorry about that, but I do want to bring in some of the die cut leaves. So you'll see I cut that leaf in 3 different greens of cardstock that I had. This kit personally did not, or in this kit especially, did not have any greens. I probably could have gone through some older kits, but I just grabbed some scrap cardstock that I had, and I used those. So the big sunflower had a little bit of leaves added to it itself. I cut those off, and you'll see later, I think in the 3rd card, that I use it again then. I use the piece I cut off then. So again, adding a little bit of color to the leaves or the branches or ferns, whatever you want to call them, to the green stalks that I'm going to add behind my pumpkin or with my pumpkin. So I never try to push anything down too hard until I know it's in place. But I also want to let you know that I am a foam tape queen. I really should buy stock in 3M or Scotch or something like that. Maybe they'll donate foam tape to me because I swear to you, I buy it by the great big $40 rolls. Probably used a whole roll on this card. Just can't help it. Yes, you may have to add postage because it's a little thicker, or hand deliver it, whatever you want to do. I love thick, clumpy cards. If you don't, leave out the foam tape. So I'm just adding a few other little embellishments and pieces. I wanted to get rid of the blue that was with the sunflower, so I just covered it. I'm going to add a little tag with a little sentiment of thankful. And then you'll see that I also add changes in the air across the sunflower. And it just brings a little sentiment to the card, and I think it's super cute. Again, foam tape everywhere. I try a few pieces, a couple different leaves. I did stick already, so sometimes I just cut the leaves or the embellishments that I want to tuck in behind a little shorter, and then I stick them in. You can see I used a little bit of glue to hold down my twine. And there you go. Look at the dimension. Yeah, a little crazy. I'm a little crazy, but let's start on card number 2. This one is a little bit more detailed, a little more stuff. You might want to leave out some of the stuff. I kind of go overboard. I never know when to stop. Anyway, it's from the cardstock that is with the kit or the addition to the kit. I brought out 3 pumpkins, or cut 3 pumpkins. I cut obviously a blue, a purple, and an orange. And I did add a little bit of color to each of those. But when you're doing this, don't mix over the top of the other colors. Set it aside, or you'll bring in purple onto the orange or whatever. Again, I cut a couple of layered papers to layer on the top of my slimline card. I do layer up a blue and then this gorgeous wood grain. I use foam tape again on both of the backgrounds. And then I'll start to layer out my pumpkins. You'll see in a sec. Yeah, look at that. Perfect. Right on the front of the card. You get a little bit of blue in there and then the wood grain. I did bring out my thin glue so that I could add those green pieces to the top. I found turning them over, you could line them up a little bit better. So I do it on the second one. You know, you always learn. You learn as you go along. You make mistakes, and then the second and third one, you get to fix it, make it a little bit easier. So I think they came out really pretty, but I wanted to add some stamping. Do I wish I didn't add the stamping on all three? Yes. I'm wondering if I should have maybe just added it to the orange, but you know, it is what it is. So I go in my trash and pick out the outline of the pumpkin, and then I insert the pumpkins inside of that. That makes it where it's a little bit easier for me to position and then bring the next colored pumpkins in without having to move my stamp set each time. Again, trick I learned watching all those card makers out there. Not my idea. I'm not that brilliant, but it was awful fun stamping all of these. It's a beautiful print. There's 2 prints that come with this kit, and then the dies, of course. But I probably should have only have printed on or stamped on the orange. It's a little obnoxious, but I like to be obnoxious with clumping and layering, and so I just went for it. You see here that I layer some of the chipboards from the main kit that are on with the frames. That's where these chipboard pieces came from. Then I grabbed a little more chipboard and some of the leaves from the main kit ephemera packet. And I just added a little bit around, tucked in behind. Again, if it doesn't work, you cut it and then stick it in behind and you won't have to go in so far. And there's the card. Again, layered. It's definitely layered up and it's a little bit too much detail, but someone will like it. Probably my mom. I'll bring it up for Thanksgiving. And here's the third card. Let's make this one. This one, I probably went outside the box because I don't think I was supposed to use the color kit, but I couldn't help it. It has 3 stencils. And on the back of the stamp, in the stamp packaging, gives you an idea of what you can do for colors. And so I kind of went off of that. Why not? If it's not broke, don't fix it, right? So I also layered, or I colored, you see the 2 triangles in yellow? I did that so I could line this up a little bit easier. I did use, words are hard for me today, the stencil up to the top and to the right, but those little anchored triangles helped me make sure that all 3 of my stencils were lined up. So I didn't bore you with that because I am not a professional colorer. And I did have to go back in and change that blue. I didn't like the blue that I had, so I went with a little bit lighter of a blue. So it was really beautiful. And then what do? I go and I freaking smudge the black ink. It's VersaFine. It's not supposed to smudge. But I think I stamped on the wet ink and then it smudged. But when I cut it out, you don't see it so much until you see my close-up. But those who don't make cards, who are probably going to be the recipients, will never even notice. Or I hope they don't. And if they do, they're probably going to throw it anyway. That makes me mad. Just give me my cards back, right? Just give them back. You don't understand the time, the patience, and the cost of making all these cards. I used to give them to everyone. Now I'm selective who I give them to. If you don't do a cartwheel for me when I hand you a card, you don't get another one. I'll just keep them for myself. Or I'll give them to those I like. So there you go. All 3 cards. Stick around for some close-ups. All the details of getting the main kit and the color kit and all the other kits that we have offered for October are down in the comment section or down in the profile section of this post. I thank you for being here. We would love it if you liked us. You subscribe to us. You can also find my personal contact information down below as well. I'd love you to join me over there. But I will be back again later this month. So I will see you soon. Thanks for joining me.